You're listening to the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show with your hosts, the Fantasy Insider, Matt Brick, the Commish, Henry Brick, and the Doctor, Jeff Hathcock.
You're on mute. Nope.
Hey, how are we? All right, we are here. We are back for the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. I am Matt Brick, your host. I'm here with Henry the Commish Brick and Jeff the Doctor with no PhD, Hathcock. Gentlemen, it is officially BYEMAGEDDON this week. 6 teams on buys this week. It's going to be a tough one. It's going to be a tough one in everyone's fantasy football league. So, yeah, it's not going to be pretty. Hopefully, we can try to turn out a win this week, but it's not going to be easy with not only the buys but the amount of injuries we've seen so far this year, unfortunately. So that's just is what it's going to be. How are we feeling so far? 7 weeks in.
I'm feeling pretty good. I mean, listen, everyone has to weather the injuries. That's just across the league. But like Matt said, BYEMAGEDDON, 6 teams on bye, and these are 6 teams that have stars on each team. There's really no stinker team out there. So it's just a matter of making sure you're active on the waiver wire and just hoping for the best. But I'm excited. This is, you get a win this week. Oh boy, you're looking pretty the rest of the year. I'm telling you.
Yeah, man. You get by week 8 with all these big name players on a bye. Gibbs, Amon-Ra, St. Brown, just to name a couple. I mean, you get by this, which we here at the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show are going to help you tonight.
All right, let's just kick it straight to the news first, and we'll get right into it. So we had some injuries last night. Unfortunately, Mike Evans broke his collarbone, is expected to miss most, if not the rest of the season. So the saddest thing is, if anything, it's obviously he's injured, but he won't be able to surpass Jerry Rice's consecutive 1,000 yards, which is very disappointing to see. I wasn't even thinking about that until I saw that this morning. But man, hope the best for Mike Evans. He's a heck of a player. So Tyler Lockett was released by the Titans, so there's that. Kendre Miller tore his ACL. He's out for the season. Bryce Young was ruled out against the Jets, so something to monitor there. We had 2 quarterbacks benched, Justin Fields for Tyrod Taylor and Tua for Quinn Ewers. Just not getting it done there. Darren Waller was ruled out against the Browns, and Jaden Daniels was ruled out with a hamstring injury against Dallas. That's all I have there. Like I said earlier, it is BYEMAGEDDON this week. The Cardinals, Lions, Jaguars, Raiders, Rams, and Seahawks are on a bye this week. So it's going to be tough. I feel like, if anything, I have Gibbs, so that's a big one. So yeah, there's just going to be guys you're not going to be able to play this week because they're on a bye, and it's just not going to be easy because there's injuries. There's injuries riddled throughout the entire league, and hopefully you can try to make a trade or pick someone up. So kind of crazy.
Right, and the 6 teams on a bye, the Cardinals, the Lions, the Jags, the Raiders, the Rams, and the Seahawks. So you got players on those teams. Make sure they're on the bench. And you listen to us tonight, we'll tell you who to pick up to help you get through the week.
All right, let's go and start with our startup set. I'll start it off real quick. Okay, this week I'm starting Bo Nix. He plays the Dallas Cowboys, who have allowed 203 fantasy points to quarterbacks, which is still the worst in the NFL. Nix and the Broncos have been hot as of late, and I expect them to continue dominating against Dallas Sunday. Next, I would say this is my must-start of the week. DeAndre Swift against the Ravens. They've allowed 134 fantasy points to running backs, which is 31st in the league. Swift has been on fire. He had 2 back-to-back 100-yard games, so he's just crushing it. I think this matchup is great. I love the matchup for him, so I think that's an easy start for Swift there. Lastly, I have Devonta Smith against the Giants. My Birds have been attacking through the air a lot as of late, and Devonta Smith is just finding ways to get open. Having said that, they did not do great against the Giants last time. Now we'll see what happens this time around. The Giants have allowed 162 fantasy points against the receiver, which is 30th in the league. So we'll see what happens. Hopefully the Birds can do something and show up this time, but we'll have to see what happens Sunday. Smith, what do you have?
What's that? Was that me? I didn't hear you. Me? Okay. So, listen, the Birds are going to be wearing Kelly Green this week. We are undefeated in Kelly Green, knock on wood. So I'm feeling very good about that matchup. My starts of the week, I'm going to start with Jonnu Smith. Listen, Aaron Rodgers heads back to Green Bay, where it all started. He loves throwing the ball to the tight end. Okay? Green Bay gives up the fourth most fantasy points to the tight end position. That's 125 points. Okay? I'm sorry, 125 yards, not points. 125 yards and 5 touchdowns this season to the tight end. So look for Jonnu to continue success this week against Green Bay. I also like Chris Olave. He put up 5 for 98 and 2 touchdowns versus the Bears last week. This week he has the Bucks, who just got lit up by the Lions. I'm on St. Brown, right? So Olave, who's heavily targeted in that offense, should find some success against the Bucks. I totally agree with you about DeAndre Swift. He's last week 19 for 124 and a touch, 1 catch for 14. Baltimore ranks 30th against the run. So, but I don't want to step on your toes. I came up with another one. Michael Penix goes up against the Dolphins. This week, Dolphins gave up the 4th most fantasy points to the quarterback. And the last 3 weeks in a row, Penix has been putting up 240, 250 a week. So I see him having some big success this week. So, Doctor, help the folks. Who do you have to start?
Yeah, I just want to point out I'm high on Swift too. So that kind of scares me because all 3 of us are really high on Swift. The reason I'm high on him is just he's got a really juicy schedule. He's right now he's in part of that juicy schedule, but he's got I think it's 3 more weeks where they've got great matchups, and Ben Johnson's really getting them going against the getting that run game going. We're kind of seeing a slight downtick from Rome Odunze because of it. But yeah, I love the Swift pick this week. I'm high on him as well. For me though, another guy this guy to me he's been awesome. But I'm going to be going with my boy J.K. Dobbins, J.K. Two Legs. It was a tough game against the Giants this past week. They really didn't get the offense humming until the fourth quarter, where they scored all of their points. But I think this week the Broncos going up against Dallas. Dallas is just letting a lot on the ground, and I think Dobbins is going to be a great beneficiary to see a lot of work in this game. I think it's going to be a high scoring game. Dallas is giving up that defense is giving up pretty much everything. And I think he'll be a great benefactor of the run game. RJ Harvey too, especially with BYEMAGEDDON. If you're really in need of a flex play, I would consider him as well. And I love Matt's pick with Devonta Smith, but AJ Brown, it looks like he's starting to cook too. He disappointed a lot of fantasy managers early in the season, but the Eagles, they're playing at home against the Giants this time. I do think the Giants are still going to be able to score. I'll talk a little bit that later in the show. I think the Giants are definitely going to be able to put up points. I like what they're doing right now, just offensively. They're getting a lot of guys involved. They're running the ball very well. But I think AJ Brown is going to continue having a great game this week against the Giants. He was on fire against Minnesota. this past week. I think it's going to continue. And listen, it's BYEMAGEDDON. Joe Flacco. I didn't think we'd be talking about Joe Flacco this late in the season. I thought he'd be on the Browns and he'd be nothing I wanted to deal with. But listen, Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, if you did not trade them away, they are locked in. I mean, Jamar Chase right now, he's the number 2 wide receiver on the year. Jackson Smith-Njigba is number 1. But Jamar Chase, if he's getting 23 targets, even if he's getting half that, if he's getting half of those targets every game from Flacco, who's getting the ball out fast, I love him going up against this Jets team this week. I think Joe Flacco's he's going to keep spreading the ball around just between these two, and he's also going to be dumping the ball off to Chase Brown. I love Flacco. I think he's the top 2 QB play this week. And then if you have him for the rest of the year, keep in mind, especially if you are a winning team and maybe you have injuries. I know Lamar, he did not practice this Monday. If you're looking for a guy to play, Joe Flacco has the easiest quarterback schedule the rest of the way. This is including this game and the rest of the way, including playoffs. He's got the schedule, and the Bengals have the easiest wide receiver schedule. So if you got these guys, lock them in your lineups and just enjoy the ride.
Wow, that was very astute. The commission brought up, first off, that game is in Pittsburgh, not in Green Bay. That's one thing I wanted to.
Oh, is that right?
That is correct. He's not.
You know what? He's facing his old team.
Correct. He's not going to Green Bay. It's in Pittsburgh. And you were talking about Michael Penix, which I think is a great pick. It's very odd. I mean, the Falcons as a team, like they're very. I don't know. They're inconsistent so far. Like it's either like they crushed the Bills and they lost to the Panthers by a lot. Like it's very strange.
I brought this up before when I was talking about trading Drake London away. They are an incredibly good home team. They are terrible on the road. And it just shows like the 49ers did whatever they wanted them on the road. Okay. But I just think they're an entirely different team when they're out playing at home, which they are this week.
Okay. All right. Well, that's something to look at. Yeah, I guess you're right because they play. I'm pretty sure they played Carolina away, right? I think that's right.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
and lost 30-0.
It's just so strange. And then Josh Allen just decided not to show up. That's so weird. I don't know. It's just a weird dynamic. I don't know. It's just like they're either great or they're just not there. All right, let's start with our sit-ems. I'll start. Okay, this week I'm very. This was tough for me to put down, but I have Drake May this week. I'm not saying this. I don't want to say to sit in. I'm trying. I've written down proceed cautiously with Drake May because he's playing the Browns this week. I think it's very hard to bench Drake May since he's been doing an absolutely phenomenal job, and to my understanding, he's the third rank in being bet as the MVP this year, which I think is, kind of wild to think, but that's what's happening right now. He's behind Mahomes and Josh Allen in the MVP race as of right now. But the Browns defense have allowed 109 fantasy points to quarterbacks this year, which is the third best in the league. This matchup is really tough, so I'm telling everyone to find other options if you have Drake May. I am a Drake May owner as well, so it's gonna. I don't know what I'm gonna end up doing. I'm probably gonna try to find someone else because I'm just
sounds like Flacco.
Yeah, honestly, Flacco might be the answer this week because it's not. I don't know. I'm not having all confidence in it. I'm not saying he has like an awful, terrible game. I'm just saying that I think there's guys that can score more points. Next, I have Jaylen Warren. He plays the Packers on Sunday Night Football, who have allowed 57 points to running backs, which is the best in the league. Sounds like it'll be a tough time for Warren Sunday, so I am benching him. Lastly, CeeDee Lamb will be going up against Pat Surtain. And the last time they went up against each other, Lamb had 2 catches for 23 yards. I think this is going to be a tough game for Dak and Dallas, honestly. So I'm staying away from starting CeeDee Lamb this week, which is tough to say, but I'll eat my words next week probably. So, all right, Jeff, what do you got?
Yeah, I listen. I have CD in one league, Dak in another, and I hope you eat your words because I really need them this week in both of those leagues. But for me, it's I'm not looking at Jalen Waddle at all this week. Again, we just talked about it before. The Dolphins are going into the Falcons territory. This Miami team is a joke right now. Tua's own coach is talking about, we just want Tua to not throw 10 picks. And this past outing, I mean, Waddle got hurt at the end of the game. He had one catch for 15 yards, and he's going up against the defense right now that are allowing just 24.3 fantasy points to opposing receiver groups this season. Their defense is much better at home than they are on the road, and I just I do not want to have Waddle in my lineups this year or this week whatsoever. And then it's unfortunate, but Tony Pollard right now, the way this entire team's is for the Titans, you can't play Pollard. Not with Tyjae Spears back in the lineup. This past week he had 6 catches, but just had 6 carries for 61 scrimmage yards. It's decent PPR production, but the workload is just so concerning. I would tread lightly if you're, obviously with BYEMAGEDDON, if you have to just put Pollard in the lineup, great, I guess. But I would definitely look for another guy, maybe like Tyler Algier. I think he's going to have a lot of work this week, going up against that incredibly bad Miami defense. Try to sit Pollard, and then the 4-3 Panthers. They might lose Bryce Young this week, so Tedero McMillan. I'm not confident against him going up against this Buffalo defense, which plays really well against opposing wide receivers. If the Red Rifle Andy Dalton is back there, I don't have that much confidence. So for me, he's a sit as well. I mean, I know he's had the 2 touchdown game against Dallas, but other than that, he's been pretty quiet this year. Just hasn't been able to find the end zone, and I don't think he finds the end zone again this week. How we feeling, Henry?
Well, I'm starting with, and I'm going to pay homage to one Michael Fabiano, Ramondre Stevenson. I'm sitting him against the Browns. They're the number 1 ranked defense versus the run, and they're absolutely balling right now, right? So you got to sit Ramondre. I'm also sitting one Zachariah Ertz, once a former Eagle. Listen, here's the deal. No Jaden Daniels this week, no Ertz. With Daniels in the lineup, Ertz is a top 10 tight end. Daniels not in lineup, I don't trust anyone to get him the ball. So now on top of that, they're playing the Chiefs, who give up the 3rd fewest points to the tight end position. So keep that in mind too. And finally, Kendrick Bourne, the Bourne identity. Looks like Juwan Jennings is back. We may see Purcell this week. McCafferty is playing out of his mind right now. And they're playing the Texans, who give up the 5th fewest passing yards and fantasy points to the wide receiver. So Bourne has to be a sit for me this week, guys.
All right. Let's get into our Dude, I'm Sorry segment. I will start it off. Before I do that, you're listening to us on Cruising 92.1 WVLT Vineland, and you're also listening to us here live on YouTube. Okay, last week I told you to start Caleb Williams. I remember when I picked that last week, and I was like, man, it was a great matchup. He played the Saints. He threw for 172 yards and 0 touchdowns. And for that, dude, I'm sorry. But I did tell you to start Jaylen Warren, a.k.a. the Apex Predator, who balled out Thursday night for 127 rushing yards and 4 catches for 37 yards. For that, you are welcome. Commish, what do you got for your dude? I'm sorry.
All right, boys. Last week, as you both know, I love Debo. He was inactive. I love Barkley. I said Bird's got to get that on the ground. He went 18 carries for 44 yards. Man, for that dude, I am sorry. However, if you listen to me, and I know there was a short, not many teams on a bye last week, but I did say start Aaron Rodgers. He puts up 249 and 4 touchdowns. Hopefully, listening. I actually put him in one league. He crushed it for me. He scored 190 that week, my whole team, and he was the head of it. I also told you to start Mr. Patrick Mahomes. He puts up 286 and 3 touchdowns and adds 28 yards rushing. So listen, I got the winners. Just listen to the show. Here at the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show, we help you get to a championship. Doctor, what are you sorry about?
Yeah, I mean, listen. Last week, I told everyone to temper their expectations on Christian McCaffrey. Obviously, if you have him in redraft, you're playing him. He's Christian McCaffrey. But I told people not to play him in DFS. And listen, my bad. He was he was the running back one on the week. With George Kittle back in the lineup, everyone thought George was going to have a great day. Turns out Christian McCaffrey just is that much better when George is in the lineup. So go figure. But just keep playing McCaffrey the rest of the way and just never sit them in.
Man, he looks good. Man, he just looks fast, powerful. It's crazy.
They looked like a completely different team.
I had him in my DFS lineup.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I was sweating. I was sweating this week when I saw him in your lineup, and I'm like, oh man, he's just doing whatever he wants on the field. But on the flip side, I mean, listen, I told you to sit Jacoby Myers. This Raiders team is a dumpster fire. I do not want any, including Bowers, including Genty, the way Gino's playing right now. I don't trust what Pete Carroll is doing with this team. So Jacoby Myers, hopefully you didn't play him. He was a giant bust.
He may be getting traded. That's
I was going to bring that up. I was like,
right.
and
they sat him this week, I believe, didn't they? Because he thought he might be getting traded.
He was asked again, I guess in the locker room, if he's still looking to be traded, and his comments was for sure. So obviously, things aren't really great over there. If he does get traded, listen, wheels could be up. I know the Giants. There's a lot of people who are looking for receivers right now. The Giants are one team. I mean, especially with the way Jackson Dart's playing. Like if Jacoby Myers went there, who's saying he can't be a top 24 wide receiver the rest of the way?
I like the Steelers for Myers. I think that'd be a great spot for him.
I was just about to say, with DK over there to have Myers getting all that other stuff, especially with Aaron Rodgers the way he's playing right now, that'd be another great spot. But for me, as long as he's on the Raiders, he's a bench, and we just got to wait and see. But yeah, that's what I got for last week. And if you follow my lineup, I mean, I did with DFS last week finally. It took a
crushed,
bit,
man. You crushed.
We're getting there.
Yeah,
I can't wait to talk about it this week. I think I got some fun picks in there.
Nice.
All right, let's go into our DFS lineups of the week. Commish, why don't you go first?
All right, boys, get your pen and paper handy. I got the winners right here. Going to go with Mr. Patrick Mahomes. Plays Monday night against the Washington Commanders, 7,000 on DraftKings. That's a steal. He's playing lights out. He has Rice back. I just think he's a slam dunk. Okay, he's playing really well, and he's going to put up some big fantasy points. Plus, he loves the spotlight. JC3 at Carolina, 6,700. Man, Cook needs to cook, and this is the week I think he does. So I'm pretty excited to have him in there. DeAndre Swift, all three of us agree, so I know that's a winner. Up against Baltimore, 5,900. That's an absolute steal. Jamar Chase, who's just been getting it done. He does. He probably goes up against was it Sauce Gardner over there at the Jets? I don't think it matters, man. Chase just finds a way. He just
Sauce
finds a
is
way.
probably not playing this week, by the way.
Oh man, that's even better. So
Even better.
yeah, I mean, listen, I'm paying all the wood for him at 8,100, but I think Flacco's found a way to connect with him, and he's going to continue to do that. Chris Olave, I spoke about him earlier. Listen, this guy at 5,800 up against Tampa, who just got smoked by Amon-Ra. He's the highest targeted receiver on that team, so you got to have him in your lineup. Rashee Rice, listen, he got it done last week. He's going to get it done again this week. He'll be more involved in the offense the second week back. So I look for a big turnout from Rice. Johnny Smith, I also talked about him earlier. My must start in our must start segments, 3,200 Monday night at home against Green Bay. Green Bay's terrible against tight end, right? So and Rodgers likes to throw to the tight end. It just makes sense to get him in here. My flex start of the week, which I'll also talk about a little bit later in the show, Brashard Smith, 4,100, goes up against the Washington Commanders. Also, Monday nights, he knows I got 3 guys on Monday night. Listen, players like step it up a notch when they play on Monday Night Football. Okay, I believe in that, and I play that way, and I feel like that's how I will prevail this week. And finally, but not one of the number one defenses in the NFL, the Browns against New England. I mean, they're playing nuts, and they're only 2,500. I think that's a steal. I think that's mismarked on DraftKings. To be honest with you, Doctor, how about you, sir? You're the current champion.
Yeah, for me, listen, I talked about it a little bit. I think this is going to be another high scoring game. I'm going with Jackson Dart, 5,500. Right now, he's scoring a lot of his points with touchdowns, but I think it's just going to continue. For me, 5,500 for a guy who can run the ball, and he's throwing the ball, he's slinging it around there. He just went up against the Broncos defense, which is a great defense, and yeah, they lost the game, but they wound up putting 30 plus points on this defense. I think he's a smash start for me. We're all talking great things about DeAndre Swift, so 5,600, but it kind of scares me because all 3 of us really like him this week. But for me, he's got a smash matchup. I think if they keep running the ball and they're using him the way they're using him, I love it. And this is the chalky of chalkiest plays, but Jonathan Taylor, 9,500. He's my big boy. He's my anchor on this team. But he's leading the league in touchdowns right now, and he doesn't look like he's going to stop. Right now, there was a stat today within like the last 20 years, with the exception of the 2007 New England Patriots, who scored like the most points for the season. The only team that's coming close to them right now is this Indianapolis Colts team. They are putting points up every single week, and Jonathan Taylor is a big part of that. I love him this week. Bounce back game. I do think Zay Flowers is going to get back into the good graces of his people who play him in fantasy. I got him at 5,400. I do think Lamar comes back. They have to start winning if they plan to make a run into the playoffs. I love Devonta Smith this week, 5,900. I know Matt likes him too. He's a smash for me. I think this is going to be a high-scoring game. And then on the opposite side with the stack with Jackson Dart, I think Wan'Dale Robinson for 5,200. I think that's a steal. Colston Loveland, 3,000 tight end. He's been playing a lot more snaps, and Cole Kmet is out. He's currently hurt right now. And I think if you got to go where he was a top 10 pick, and I think he's just going to start to ramp up more. In the flex, Alvin Kamara. For those that don't know, Kendra Miller suffered an ACL injury, so he's done for the year. So Alvin Kamara is likely to get all this work back just to himself. So if he's at 5,700, that's a smash for me. And I'm going with this Colts defense, 3,800. They're going up against this Titans team that is just not very good. I think they're going to get after Cam Ward. Cam, I'm praying for you, buddy. But I don't think it's going to be a very nice day for Cam Ward. How we feeling, Matt?
All right. I feel like we all have some of the same guys here. This week, I have Bo Nix, obviously, at my quarterback position. Like I said earlier, I think that's a great matchup for Nix, especially after that game Sunday. I mean, I wasn't expecting that to happen. I cashed out on a parlay that I don't want to talk about, but I went with Bo Nix at quarterback against Dallas. Next, I have James Cook at 6,700 at Carolina. I know Carolina seems to have a decent rushing defense, but I think Cook is matchup proof and he's just a beast. So I look forward to watch him play. DeAndre Swift, we've talked about him. I mean, the Ravens are playing for draft picks. Let's be honest. I just read they took out all the distractions and the video games and the locker room or whatever. Yeah, okay. Good luck with that. Next we have Emeka Ibuka at 7,000 against the Saints. No Mike Evans. Ibuka is probably going to ball out still. He seemed to look pretty good still, even though he was a game time decision, I believe, last night. So not afraid about that. I got Ibuka. Roma Dunze at 6,300 against Baltimore. I think Roma Dunze, I feel like he's just hasn't been scoring as much, so he's been a little bit quiet. So I think he bounces right back there. So there's that. I have Michael Pittman at 5,600 against the Titans. He's been doing pretty well. I like Pittman a lot. I'll be discussing him later in the show. Next, I have tight end Mason Taylor, 3,500 at the Bengals, with Justin Fields just being not great, and maybe we have Taylor still come in. I mean, Tyrod Taylor, not Mason Taylor. I think Taylor is a good start there, especially since Garrett Wilson still might not be playing. So Taylor's at 3,500. I feel like that's a great deal there. Obviously, next at my flex, I have Devonta Smith, 5,900 against the Giants. I think Jeff is right. I think it will be a high scoring game. I think both teams' defenses are just been out of shape right now, unfortunately. So it'll be a nice, normal classic Eagles game to watch come Sunday. And for my defense, I have the Broncos defense at 3,100 against Dallas. I know the Broncos just, allowed 31 or whatever, but I still think that they can have a good game against Dallas. So there you go. All right. Did Jeff go? Jeff went, right?
Yes, I did.
Okay, thank you. All right. Let's talk about sleepers and long shots. I'll go first because I feel like I don't have much to talk about mine. This week, oh yeah, I picked Josh Reynolds this week because I still don't know about Garrett Wilson. I don't know if he plays, then I'm talking about nonsense. But if he doesn't, Josh Reynolds, I'm sure. I mean, listen, the other thing is that the Jets are a very frustrating offense right now. They're just not playing great football, unfortunately. So it's not working out. But hopefully Josh Reynolds can get some targets. I see him more as a long shot come Sunday. Jeff, who do you have?
Yeah, for me, I mean, I talked about him before, but I think Flacco is just an awesome start this week. I really do think a lot of people are sleeping on exactly what he's capable of with this with these two receivers. He just put it to Aaron Rodgers. They went to Pittsburgh. They had an incredible game, and this Jets defensive line cannot get after anyone. So for me, I think especially with the BYEMAGEDDON, there's going to be a lot of people who aren't playing this week. Lamar is still up in the air if he's still going to play. He didn't practice this Monday. I think Flacco is a smash start. I think even if they get up big, I mean, they're just going to keep running the ball. This offensive line, they haven't been able to get much push. So I don't think Chase Brown is. I mean, who knows? Things could change, but I just don't think Chase Brown is going to have one of these, career games. So I just think Flacco is just going to keep slinging it. I love Flacco this week.
All right. Excellent, as always, Doctor. My long shot, I kind of mentioned earlier in my DFS is going to be Brashard Smith. Check this out. Last 4 weeks in a row, he's had over 20 receiving yards each week, right? He goes up against Washington, who allows the fifth most receiving yards to running backs. So let's guess what? Brashard Smith, who looks like he's got juice, I think they want to get him more involved in the offense. He is my long shot start of the week. That's why I'm in my DFS lineup.
I just remembered that Sunday is National Tight Ends Day, so keep that in mind when you're betting, especially and setting your lineups. I don't know. I just feel like with this BYEMAGEDDON, you might we might be getting that helps nobody touchdowns, and there might be backup tight ends getting touchdowns like Brock Wright or something. You know what I mean? Like so go look at this. Go look at those odds for tight end touchdowns, and then put a couple of dollars down because I feel like it's every year. There's a whole bunch of tight ends scoring on national tight ends.
Every year, Matt.
Am I wrong? So
Oh no, not at
I will
all.
be. I forgot about that. I'll have to check out DraftKings or FanDuel or whatever. So, all right, let's move right along. This is the main event. It is waiver wire pickups. It's waiver wire Tuesday. I'll talk about my guys real quick. I don't think I have that many. I don't. I basically just have the Bucks offense. I have Tez Johnson and Kate Otten. So Mike Evans out for the season, possibly, probably. I mean, he's droppable at this point, in my opinion. Tez Johnson's balling out, and I'm loving that because I picked him up in Dynasty. So that's excellent. And Kate Otten, great option too. I mean, I was watching last night, and he was getting fed the ball all of last night. So I think with what's happening there. I mean, I talked about Sterling Shepard last week, so hopefully you pick him up. But those are great options, especially with the buys this week. So, Kamish, you want to go?
Absolutely. Talking about national tight ends, what is it, week, day, whatever they call it. How about Oronde Gadsden? He is the tight end 2 the last 2 weeks. He's averaging over 16 points a week. He's put up 14 catches for 232 yards and 1 touchdown on 16 targets. So this guy has to be picked up. It's an absolute must, especially for tight ends week. They go up against the Vikings this week. I know Jeff loves this. Jackson Dart, week 7, over 29 fantasy points against the Broncos. Right, he's becoming matchup proof, and his up and coming schedule is obviously the Birds, which he probably will find some success. The Niners, Chicago, and then Green Bay. So Dart, if he's still out there, get him picked up right away. I also have running back Kyle. I'm probably going to kill his last name. Menungai, that's it. Okay.
I got you, buddy.
Chicago, their O-line is playing out of their minds. With 6 teams on the bye, he's a good one to get you at least 10 fantasy points this week. Okay, and as we all know, running backs seem to be on a premium. And I have a bonus pickup because of the Kendre Miller situation. Devin Neal, he is the next man up behind Alvin Kamara. And let me just throw a couple of stats your way on Devin Neal, what he did in college. Okay, 50 games, 4,343 yards rushing, 49 touchdowns, 77 receptions for 711 yards and 4 more touchdowns he was the pride of Kansas. So Devin Neal could be the next big thing for the Saints because, there's all those rumors about Kamara getting traded, and if they trade him, he's just going to retire, whatever. Listen, Kellen Moore has to at some point do strong evaluations on who he's going to have move forward with this team, and he may be a big part of it moving forward.
Colin Moore is looking at his scouting team right now. That's what he's doing because it's just not great. It's really frustrating. Oh man. All right. Jeff, did you go?
Yeah, I'll go. So, real quick. Listen, the Dolphins have allowed Rico Dowdle to score 32.4 fantasy points, Kamani Vidal 22.8, and Quinchon Junkins just looked like Jim Brown, scoring 26.4. The two-man wrecking crew of Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier this week, they're going to smash. Especially with BYEMAGEDDON. I have Tyler Algier. I have him going in one of my leagues as a starting running back for me, just because I have so many people on bye. But I think if this game gets out of hand quickly, which I think it's going to, I think you're going to see a lot of Tyler Algier this game. So for me, if he's on the waiver wire, you have to pick him up. This guy should be rostered anyway. I mean, when Bijan wasn't there, he was a very good back. And I definitely think he's going to have himself a great week this week. He's going to help out a lot of teams, especially when they got starters on bye. And then two guys. I mean, listen, the Texans are the Texans, but Jalen Noel and Jaden Higgins right now. Nico Collins he left that game last night with a concussion. Jaden Higgins is his direct replacement. He's 6'4", 213 pounds. He's a 98th percentile athlete. If Nico is missing, I definitely think you have to keep Jaden Higgins in mind. I know it's not like the greatest situation because this offense just isn't playing incredible right now. I mean, CJ Stroud does not look like himself. This offensive coordinator that we thought was going to be great coming from that McVay tree, he doesn't seem to be knowing what he's doing. But then a surprise for everyone, which was nice to see, Jalen Noel. He has Braxton Berrios to deal with, which is unfortunate. But I think he might have played himself into more of a role, and especially if Kristen Kirk's going to continue to miss time with this injury that he has. I think it's just it's a winnable matchup if you have either of these guys on your wire. Pick them up and put them in your lineups, especially if Christian Kirk and or Nico Collins is not playing. And listen, I've been saying it all session here, but Flacco for me, he's a stud this week. New York's defense is not good. Statistically, it's just nothing's clicking for them right now. Like I said before, Sauce Gardner's probably not playing this week. There's talk of like benching Justin Fields, so we don't even know who's starting, whether it's Fields or it's Tyrod Taylor. But 3 of the last 4 games, they've dealt with Bryce Young, Bo Nix, and Tua, and it hasn't been pretty for this team. Dak did whatever he wanted to this team a couple weeks ago. He was the overall QB2 when he played against this team, and I think Flacco is just going to keep throwing this ball all over the field. I don't think they have anyone on this front line that's going to actually hurt the Bengals' offensive line. And I think if Flacco just continues to get the ball out, like he's just going to be a smash play. And then Henry touched on it before, but Monangai, I love the usage. I think I think some of the usage that he had this past week was because they were they were up. So the Saints were trying to play catch up, and they were just trying to kill some clock. But especially with DeAndre Swift, like they have a great schedule these next couple games, these next 3 games. If Swift goes down for whatever reason, Roshan Johnson isn't seeing any time right now, Monangai could be a workhorse at least for these next 3 games. And then if you can have him for at least 3 games to maybe take care of injuries to like Trey Benson or Bucky Irving, guys like that, waiting for them to get back, I think that's a nice spot to be in for sure.
All right. Before we get into our buy low, sell high segment, you are listening to us on Cruising 92.1 WVLT Vineland, and you're listening to us live here on YouTube. All right, buy low, sell high. I'll kick it off. Why not? This week, my buy low is Michael Pittman Jr. I feel like he's been doing a decent job. He's not getting. I don't know. I feel like he's just not getting enough credit. His volume's been solid. I feel like he's just been doing more than expected, at least in my eyes. So I'm willing to go and try to get him. My sell high is Justin Herbert, and I know he's been actually doing a great job fantasy wise, but football wise, I feel like he's just been doing okay. I don't know. He's made some poor decisions. I'll just say that. All I'm saying is, if there's someone out there in your league that needs a quarterback, like God forbid they have Justin Fields, like me, go and sell Justin Herbert to them, and they'll probably give you a little bit more than what you're asking for. So that is my buy low, sell high. Mish, what do you got?
Well, I want to start off by saying a buy low, sell high trade I made this past week that helped me tremendously was I traded Tony Pollard straight up for Devonta Smith. And of course, Devonta crushed it, and Pollard splitting time with the Taj, and his age is showing and all that kind of stuff. And this is, when we give you this stuff, listen to us, because man, it pays off in big dividends. It paid off huge for me. Devonta went out of his mind this past week. My big buy low candidate is going to have to be Luther Burden. This receiver is a true breakout buy low candidate. His production is only being suppressed by coach usage, and more than talent. The lack of production by DJ Moore on top of all this, I think this could change very quickly. So be on top of it before it happens, because after it happens, good luck trying to get him, right? That's the idea behind buying low and selling high. My sell high candidate, Matt, you might be a little upset about this one, but it's going to be Courtland Sutton. He's producing reliably, for sure, but his yards and target share do not justify the current fantasy output. And Denver is trying to incorporate more weapons into their offense. So to me, while he's hot, trade him for someone that can help you get to the championship. Doc, what do you got, sir?
Yeah, for me, it's listen, George Kittle, he's still George Kittle. Lots of people, they held on to this guy. He came back and got that goose egg. They're probably desperate, and once he has a big game, that window to get him is going to close. So you got a lot of hype right now. You got guys like Gatson. You even got some of the top guys. You got Tyler Warren. He's on a hot streak right now. McBride's looking good, but Kittle, there's no one else to throw the ball to. I mean, who knows when Ayuk is coming back? There's issues with all the receivers. They're all injured. And what if McCaffrey gets hurt? Which we know is a possibility. It's just a possibility. The way they play him, they give him so much work. If he gets banged up, dinged up, they're gonna have to give George Kittle the ball. And he has those league-winning kind of games where he can literally turn the tide, and you could be down 30 points and have George Kittle in your lineup ready to go, and he can give you a 40-point game. He's done it before. So for me, I'm trying to buy low right now on George Kittle. Take advantage of the fact that he just came back and got a goose egg. Try to go get him. Even if you have one of these top guys, try to get George Kittle plus something. And then for my sell high right now, it's DeAndre Swift. He's my favorite sell high candidate right now. He's had 2 great weeks back to back. He's running hot. He's like we stated before, he has a couple, I believe it's 3 straight games where he has just incredible matchups where I think he's going to continue to produce. So if anything, maybe sell high on him now, try to get what you can for him. But if you don't sell him now, just give these next 2-3 games just another taste, and then you're going to have someone who wants to bite. But I promise you, he is going to disappoint. His fantasy playoff schedule is extremely tough. I believe he plays Green Bay, and then he plays the Browns, and then he plays Green Bay again. That's weeks 15, 16, 17. That is a nightmare matchup for any running back. I don't care if it's just DeAndre Swift. So I would try to offload him after either this week or within the next 2 or 3 weeks when he's had, just great performances. But I just don't think it's going to continue. I would try to get off him sooner rather than later.
All right. I think it's time to discuss something really important, and that is what I'm deeming field goal gate. They're adding something to these balls on these. They're calling them the K balls because that's what you're kicking. I don't know. It is weird. I don't know how I feel about it. I guess it does seem like there are a lot of. I think what's weird is that there are a lot of kickers that normally aren't. We're not really used to seeing kick 50 to 60-yard field goals that are making them.
How about
And
Cam Little hitting that 70-yarder
yeah,
preseason?
like I don't know. It's really strange, and I guess they're just trying to make it more interesting with you know, but they're making all is the issue.
There just to correct you real quick. For those who don't know, I am a Giants fan, so there are kickers out there who are not making all of them. Just like our
That's
kicker
true.
who missed two
Right,
field
right.
goals, 2 field goals to lose us this game this past week. But I'm just
Right.
That's true.
Right.
I don't know. It's just weird. I don't know. It's a strange phenomenon, I guess, but we'll see. I feel like it won't be surprising because I feel like this year someone's going to break the record, and it might be broken more than once at this point because
it definitely could be.
you got Aubrey and Dallas, who I would put money on kicking the longest field goal ever, and it's really strange. I don't know. All right, to end the show, I thought I could name a couple of guys, whether or not if you would drop them or not. So the first one I have on my screen here is Travion Henderson, which is tough to say goodbye to. I shipped him off in 1 week weeks ago because
he's a drop.
I was sniffing up some lack of production. So yeah, I mean, I would drop him, especially this week because it's not going to be easy out there.
Yeah, he's taking space of a guy that might help you win a game. I mean, it's just a shame. It's a shame.
Yeah,
so much potential early.
So much potential. He had so much hype. I mean, the draft capital was awesome, but yeah, this guy, he's luckily he's not on any of my teams. And I thought it was going to change. I thought eventually Vrabel would get this guy involved. But it just hasn't happened. And even with Ramondre having his fumbling issues, Vrabel loves him. Vrabel is he's a veterans type of guy.
He
and
is.
This guy's he's just
he's not Belichick.
No, he's not.
Belichick was as soon as the guy fumbled, he'd have been done.
Yeah,
Henderson would have been in, but
I never would have heard of him ever again. Kind of.
Vrabel's very loyal, very loyal. Yeah.
All right. I think we're all dropped there. Kendrick Bourne. That's another drop candidate. Would you drop Kendrick Bourne? I mean, Brock Purdy's probably coming back. I don't know if it'll be this week, but
I think it is going to be this week because this would be the 4th week, and they would have put him on IR. He already missed 3, I believe. So I think with Purdy back, Jennings playing through craziness, and he gets Pearsall back.
I don't understand how the NFLPA has gotten involved in that. I think that's crazy.
Yeah.
They preach player safety, and then you have this. I don't know. It's really weird to me.
Yeah.
I don't get it. Yeah. I mean, if Purdy plays, I feel like that's kind of it's going to lose a lot of production for Bourne. But I mean, Mac Jones was just slinging it to him, and then this past week it was like Bourne kind of.
He only had 2 catches.
Yeah, he kind of just beat it away. And
listen, he doesn't need to catch a lot.
Yeah,
he doesn't need to catch a lot though. When Christian McCaffrey is doing all the work.
Yeah, man, McCaffrey's just nuts, man.
Yeah. If they, because I mean, that's what this team wants to do.
Like there's other guys. I see. Oh, it says potential replacements like Darnell Mooney, Marvin Mims, Malik Washington. Yeah, I mean, those are guys that I probably would rather have, honestly.
Yeah, especially the Darnell Mooney's. Ray McLeod just got let go from the team for personal reasons. So I mean,
strange.
With the exception of Drake London, like there's no one else but Darnell Mooney and Kyle Pitts to throw the ball to. So I would definitely take a shot at Darnell Mooney over Bourne for sure.
Right. Hey, I got some streamer defenses this week. Tell me what you guys think. I like the Colts over Tennessee, Bills over Carolina, Atlanta over Miami. Three good possible streamer defenses this week.
Yeah, any team
go
that's
ahead.
playing against the Titans, you should play them.
Yeah, honestly, I don't blame you. I mean, the Falcons against the Dolphins, like, if this home theory works, that's a must start, I guess, right? Like,
yeah, I mean, listen,
if Bryce Young isn't playing, especially Bills, definitely, right?
Yeah,
Versus Carolina.
Yeah, I don't think the Red Rifle has a
I can't
shot
believe
against
Andy
this
Dalton's
Bills
still playing
team.
football. Honestly, it's
crazy. Hey, he's getting paid, man.
Hey, I mean, I also remembered when he was unbelievable, but he needs to. I think it's time to hang it up for.
Now he's believable.
Yeah, now he's poor guy. All right, I think that's gonna do it. Anything else? Anything else that we have to say?
No, I mean, listen. Good luck. This is
good luck.
This is
Have a great week 8.
Crazy week.
Get through BYEMAGEDDON. Watch the injury report. Pick up players we told you to pick up.
All right, that'll do us here at the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. And remember, if you're not playing fantasy football, you're probably thinking about switching from Apple to Samsung. Have a great one, everyone. Thank you for listening to another edition of the Kick-Ass Fantasy Football Show. Be sure to like, subscribe, and follow us on Twitter at KAF Football.